Hello student, in today's lecture we will see about the fetal skull. Okay, and this fetal skull is important during the practical examination. Okay, in today's lecture we will see about the fetal skull, in that the subpoints are landmarks, bone of the vault, then sutures, fontanelles and diameter of fetal skull. Okay, this one is the fetal skull. First we will see the landmarks. There is the three landmarks in the fetal skull. That one is the first is the vault. This one is the vault, face and the base. The first vault. Vault is the large dome shaped form from cranial bone. Okay, what is a vault? Vault is the large dome shaped forms from the cranial bone. And the second one is the face. Face is composed of 14 bones, firm and united. United means joining together, and not compressible means does not get been compressed. This one is the face. And the base. This one is the base. Compromised of bones united to protect the vital center of the medulla. This base is the most important to protect the vital center in the medulla. And the compromised of bones means to have consist of bones. Okay, this is about the landmarks. There is the three landmarks. First is the vault, second face, and third one is the base. Okay, then we will see the bones of vault. Okay, bones of the vault. Okay, bones of the vault. Bones of the, this one is a vault. There is a bone composed of, in that there is the two frontal bone, two parietal bone, and one is the occipital bone. Then the two frontal bone form the forehead sinciput. These two frontal bone form the forehead or sinciput. At the center of each is a frontal eminence, and the center of the parafrontal bone there is a frontal eminence. Okay, there is a frontal eminence. Okay, these two are the frontal bone. Okay, then these two are the parietal bone. Two parietal bones lies either side of the skull. The ossification center is called as parietal eminence. Okay, this one is in the frontal bone there is a frontal eminence, and in parietal bone there is the bulging of the skull bone. This is the parietal eminence. Okay, and the occiput. Occipital bone. The occipital bone lies at the back of the head and form the region of the occiput. Okay, occipital bone this lies at the back of the head and form the region of the occiput. At the center where is the bulging part seen, this is called as occipital protuberance. This one is the occipital protuberance. Okay, the bones of the vault, there are the two frontal bone. This one is 1 and 2. Two parietal bone and one occipital bone. Okay, clear? Okay. The next one is the suture. One is the frontal suture. There are the four sutures: frontal suture, coronal suture, sagittal suture, and lambdoidal suture. Okay, first we will see the frontal suture between the frontal bone. This is the frontal suture. Then sagittal suture between parietal to parietal bones. This is the parietal suture. Sagittal suture between the parietal bones. And this one is the coronal suture. This one is the coronal suture. Two coronal sutures each between the frontal and parietal bone. Okay, there is the two coronal suture. One is the between the frontal bone and parietal bone. Okay, then lambdoid suture. These two are the lambdoid sutures. These two are the lambdoid suture. Okay, each between parietal bone and upper margin of the occipital bone. Each between the parietal bone. This one is the parietal bone and this one is occipital. The upper margin of the occipital bone. They are the two lambdoid sutures. Which are the sutures in fetal skull? There is the frontal suture, two coronal suture, one sagittal suture, and two lambdoid suture. And these are the squamous suture. Okay. Then the fontanelle. Next point is the fontanelle. There are the two fontanelles. One is the anterior fontanelle and another one is the posterior fontanelle. Okay, anterior fontanelle. There is another name for the anterior fontanelle is bregma, and for the posterior fontanelle another name is the lambda. First we will see about the anterior fontanelle, formed by meeting the frontal, sagittal and two coronal suture. They form the diamond shape. This is called as anterior fontanelle. Okay, the form there is diamond shape, and measurement there is a 3 to 4 centimeter long, and there is the width 1.5 to 2 centimeter. And this bregma or anterior fontanelle closes at the 18-month or 1.5 year. Okay, this is about the anterior fontanelle. Next we will see the posterior fontanelle. This one is the posterior fontanelle. It is also called as lambda, formed by meeting the one sagittal suture and two lambdoid suture. Then they form the triangle shape and mostly closes at the 6 week and or 1.5 month. Okay, this is the posterior fontanelle. Okay, then we will see the diameters. There is the first one, biparietal diameter between the two parietal eminence. Biparietal diameter between this one the parietal eminence. These both are the parietal eminence. The biparietal diameter between the parietal eminence, from one side parietal eminence to the another side parietal eminence. This is the 9.5 centimeter. Okay. The next one is the bitemporal between the furthest part of the coronal, between the furthest point of the coronal suture. Between the furthest point of the coronal suture. This is the bitemporal diameter, that is 8.5 centimeter. Okay, then next suboccipito-brygmatic. Suboccipito means from below the occipital protuberance to the center of the anterior fontanelle. Below the occipital protuberance to the center of the anterior fontanelle. This one. This is about the 9.5 centimeter. Then suboccipito-frontal, below the occipital protuberance to the center of the frontal suture. Below the occipital protuberance to the center of the frontal bone. This is about the 10 centimeter. Okay. Then occipito-frontal, from the occipito-frontal from the occipital protuberance to the glabella. There is the glabella. It is about the 11.5 centimeter. Okay. The next one is the mento-vertical. From mentum to the vertical, from the point of the chin to the highest point of the vertex. From the chin to the highest point of the vertex. This is the 13.5 centimeter. This is the largest diameter of the fetal skull. That is the mento-vertical, 13.5 centimeter. Okay. Then submento-vertical, from the point where the chin is joined to the neck and the highest point of the vertex. From this highest point of the vertex. This is the 11.5 centimeter. That is submento-vertical. Then submento. Okay. At the last we will review all the content. Okay. First is the landmarks. There is a 3 landmarks of fetal skull: vault, face and the base. Okay. Bone of the vault, 2 frontal bone, 2 parietal bone and 1 is the occipital bone. Then the sutures are, this one is the frontal suture, there is 2 coronal suture, the sagittal suture and 2 lambdoid suture, and this one is the squamous suture. Okay. Then the fontanelles, there is 2 fontanelles. One is the anterior fontanelle and next is the posterior fontanelle. Okay. Then the diameters of the fetal skull. First a biparietal diameter. This is 9.5 centimeter. Bitemporal diameter. This one is the 8.5 centimeter. Then suboccipito-brygmatic. Suboccipito-brygmatic. This is 9.5 centimeter. Suboccipito-frontal. Suboccipito-frontal, that is 10 centimeter. And then occiput to frontal. Occiput to frontal, that is 11.5 centimeter. Then the mento vertical from mentum to highest point of the vertex, that is 13.5 centimeter. Submento vertical from the point where the chin joins to the neck, then the highest point of the vertex, that is 11.5 centimeter. Then submentobrygmatic from the point where the chin joins to the neck at the center of the bregma, anterior fontanelle of the bregma, that is 9.5 centimeter. Okay, hope so this video is important for all of you. Thank you so much.